live and what's going on here. Okay, so I think we should be live right now. Hi everyone, and welcome, warm welcome, and thank you for tuning into this third episode of Bird is a Word. So this is a laid back conversation on birds, birding, and all sorts of very cool bird related things from around the world. Now, I'm not sure if you all have seen the previous episodes, but I haven't spoken about this much here, but I'll touch on it. The real purpose of having this web show, right? And there is an ulterior motive. Not creepy though. So Bird is a Word intends to amplify the voices of birders from as many countries as possible. If you'll ever look at the graphics for each episode, you'll notice a map of the world on the lower right, I think it is. And we want to hear from as many places as possible. So each episode, right, you'll see that red pin is going to be in a different place. But yeah, Learn the Birds is who is facilitating this show. And it is, of course, a global movement to spread awareness, knowledge, and appreciation of birds. Learn the Birds originally started in South Africa, and I'm coming to you from Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean. So yes, my people, that's the ulterior motive. Birding just brings so many people together. So remember, while for each episode, right, while the date is set, it's always going to be the last Friday in a month. The time varies depending on the time zone our guest is from, because our guest has to be the most comfortable of everyone here. So be sure to head across to learnthebirds.com and register there. So first of all, you'll be part of our rapidly growing community. And most importantly, you'll get that Monday Birding newsletter where you'll be notified of all the wonderful goings on at Learn the Birds. And make sure also to subscribe to the Learn the Birds YouTube channel where you're looking at this right now. And feel free to interact in the chat, say hi, ask questions anytime you want. You can see where you're from. Just keep it birdie. So today's guest is Francis Canto Jr. from Belize City in Belize. And I can tell you, Francis has always been passionate about nature, very much like myself, since childhood. His spark bird was a black-colored hawk, and as they say, the rest is history. He's photographed over 400 species of birds in Belize, and he's also a licensed tour guide. Francis is on the board of directors for the Belize Audubon Society and is also an eBird reviewer and hotspot editor for Belize. So welcome to the show, Francis.
Hi, Faraz. Thanks for having me. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you. I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm good. Happy to be here.
Nice. Good to have you. So I got a first question for you off the bat. What was the last bird that you saw today?
The last bird that I saw today, that would be a white-winged dove. That's the last bird I saw today. Yeah.
Nice. Wonderful. That's always like just a trick question to set you back a little bit. Oh, did I see a bird? Of course. We're birders. We always see birds, right?
Yep, always seeing birds indeed.
Yeah. So I mentioned this whole story about a black-colored hawk. What was it about this black-colored hawk that got you hooked on birds?
Well, first was lack of knowledge, I believe. When I saw this bird, I was on like a bird tour, but I wasn't a birder as yet. But I was with a very good birder. He's now my very good friend, unknowingly at that time.
Yeah.
So that was a cool part of it. And we were just coming down in northern Belize, coming down one of the rivers, the new river, which is in Orange Walk. And we came upon this bird perched on the side of the river. And I'm like, wow. Because the full adult has that nice rufous coloration.
Yeah.
That white head and that
white
dark.
head.
Yeah. And it just stood out. And I was like, man, what is that? He was like, oh, that's a black colored hawk. And I'm like, what? I've never heard of such a bird before, and I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful. And I thought I knew about birds, but clearly I don't, because this bird was in Belize and it's fairly common in the right habitat, and I had known nothing about it. So right there was like, okay, I definitely don't know birds
Yeah.
because I didn't know this beautiful bird. So I have to start somewhere. So I made a vow as I got home after the trip. I went and I bought my first field guide, The Birds of Belize, and that was it. From there on, I was hooked, and it was all because of that one bird that
Yeah.
we saw coming back.
No turning back at all, right?
No turning back.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah, you can't unsee that moment.
Never. It lives in my memory forever.
Of course, of course. So I know, like we were talking so much in the lead up of for this episode about your photography, but you also record bird calls. So what I'll do right now is I think, I think you should be able to see a player, and you should be able to hear. Was that an Antrike also that was calling?
There was an Attila in there. There was a melodious blackbird, yellow-green vireo, clay-colored thrush, and I think even a green jay.
Nice, nice. Clay-colored thrush, man. Interesting, interesting. This is
Yeah.
a yellow-green Virio.
Yes, yellow-green vireo.
Yeah, that classic Virio intonation.
Oh yeah, the warbler series
Yeah.
of whistles. Yeah.
Do you use what special equipment do you use to record these calls?
I have a Zoom H1N, which is a handheld recorder, and then I have a small external microphone, video mic Go. So it's just plug and play. I plug the mic into the recorder, I press record and point it at the bird, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, nice, nice. And it eliminates all the background sound, I'm sure.
It depends on where you are. Sometimes like the cicadas, oh man, they make it
Yeah,
horrible. But
I
it's
can
fine. It
imagine.
works. It works.
Once it gets hot, right?
Oh yeah, like 2 days ago, I couldn't record.
Yeah. What about wind? Does wind harass your recording?
It does. It does. Once it's over a few miles per hour, then the recorder picks it up. So I either have to try to record between the wind, and
Yeah.
if not, then if it's not too bad, then I just leave the wind noise in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've heard recordings on Canto, and there's like there's wind and stuff like that, but you can still hear the call properly. So
Mhm.
I guess it doesn't matter that much. I guess it's kind of akin to photography. Like, can you identify the bird from this picture, or
Yep.
are you thinking about that stick that's going through the bird's head or something like that?
Yeah. True. True.
Nice, nice. And this one is a solitaire.
Yeah.
Wow. That
Amazing.
that call is incredible.
Yeah, I'm getting chills right here listening to it again. It's just
Yeah,
amazing, this bird.
my cat woke up because I was playing this call. Yeah,
Yeah, this is a cool bird here in Belize because it's restricted to the highlands, but I was lucky enough to go to a trip that took us right to a spot known for this one, so I made sure I
yeah,
got the opportunity to record it.
yeah. It's incredible. And it does this kind of like it's like a pitch shift,
Mhm.
and that in itself, that's the one that really blows me away.
Yeah, it's amazing, these birds, man. Six
Yeah,
inches long, but it's like a entire computer in there spitting out all of these lyrics. It's just amazing.
yeah. I always wondered with bird calls, like I always kind of like put them next to whale song.
Hmm.
I always wonder, like, if you speed up whale song, would you
Hmm.
get bird song? And would if you vice versa?
That's a new experiment. I gotta try that one.
Yeah, like you can try it with this solitaire, and it's because it has that kind of profile.
Hmm.
Suppose I'm sure it'll sound very similar. But yeah, language, animal language is something that we're not really good at.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is.
but clearly, that solitaire said something that got my cat to come and sit on me and
Oh
say hi.
yeah, he's interested.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
interested.
Yeah,
That's
for those
cool.
of y'all watching, he's completely 100% indoors, so nothing to worry about.
Perfect.
Yeah. So let me one question about audio, right? Do you think that more people are doing audio recordings and studying bird vocalizations?
Yeah, for sure. Because here in my birding circles, a lot of people do it because you can just pull out your phone and press record. You don't have to have any big equipment. Once you
Yeah,
hear a cool bird song or a bird you don't know, you can just press record, get that information or that data, and you can upload it to your eBird checklist or to Xenocanto. If you just want to have the recording for your own personal use, it's quick and easy. So I see quite a few people doing it. So that's neat because another interesting thing would be dialects.
of
Like
course.
even
Yeah,
here in Belize, where it's small, but a bird from up north sounds a lot different than a bird from like 400 miles south or 200
yeah.
miles south. So that's interesting, the different dialects that come into play. Just like humans.
Just like humans, exactly. I was about to say that, you know. I enjoy bird calls, but I remember as a novice bird, I always felt kind of intimidated by having to learn the calls. I'm like, well, how in the world do people know that this call belongs to this bird? But I'm glad that more people are starting to use their phones and record and kind of make that association. Well, this is this and this is the other, because I think it helps us. It's a much better way of appreciating the bird.
For sure. One
Yeah,
more level to appreciate them on.
exactly, and it's a very important and understated level.
For sure.
Yeah. So let's get on to the real deal, your photography.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah. So we're starting off with an incredible looking bird. And it doesn't always look like this, does it?
It doesn't, and I have to give a disclaimer about this image. So, this bird was actually in hand.
Yeah.
So it was a bird that this was my first time experiencing bird banding, and we were lucky enough that they had captured this um, male royal flycatcher. So the guy banded it and gave us like 30 seconds to take a photo
Yeah.
because stressing the bird and stuff like that. So I managed to
Yes.
capture this, and it was just amazing. So
Yeah. Yeah. I can't imagine a bird like that.
yeah, imagine it just man.
It's small. It's like a peacock, but but much smaller, and everything is in its head.
Yep, everything is up there, and when they're not displaying, it's pretty much just a brown bird. But when
Yeah.
it's time to court, then we see
Yeah.
this display, which I haven't been lucky enough to see yet. But I know
Yeah.
one day we might come across one displaying and we get to see this action live.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. It'll be incredible. I've seen a date here of 2016. Is that when you started photography?
Yeah, this is like one of my first big trips.
Whoa.
Um, I was actually I went to the Audubon Society. They had invited me because I guess they saw the interest I had, and um,
Mm-hmm.
they were doing like a bird course for bird guides, but I wasn't a bird guide yet. But they still invited me to come and just learn a little. So I went on
Mm-hmm.
this trip first time in the Coxcomb, which is a natural reserve in the southern part of the country. Its main focus is jaguars, but a lot of good birds are there.
Well,
So
of
I
course.
I was super happy to go on that trip.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I met a lot of my birding friends for the first time because they were all guides and
Yeah.
they were there. So I met a lot of new people, made some friendships right there, and of course, got some good pictures of some birds. So this was one of
Yeah.
my first times out, and one of the first nice pictures that I took.
Yeah, I can't even fathom, like now starting up in doing bird photography or whatever, and
Hmm.
photographing this bird as a number one. That's incredible.
Yep.
Yeah. So here we have a striped owl, right?
Yeah, striped owl.
Yeah,
We.
I've tried to see this bird many times because they have them here in Tobago,
Mhm.
but I've never been lucky. Is it secretive there, or is it kind of common?
This one, where I photographed this bird, was in the southernmost town, so in a town called Punta Gorda.
Hmm.
And there, once upon a time, that was the only place you could reliably see striped owl.
Yeah,
Um, Once you spend a few hours out in the night just driving around the greener areas in the town. So although you're in town, you want to go to like the parks or the forest edges. And
hmm
once you spend enough time, you would come across one, and that's where this happened. I remember you had messaged me or commented and was like, "You've never seen one on a natural perch." I remember that.
Yes,
That was
yes, that's
something you
right.
said, yeah. And
Yeah,
yeah, so we were looking for this bird, driving around with our spotlight out. People probably thinking we're crazy or something like that.
the usual.
Yeah, the usual. Another day in the life of a birder.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah,
boom,
like
he was right there.
wow, that's the stuff dreams are made of, man,
Yep,
know.
yep.
Like here in Tobago, they're usually on the fence post, not really fence posts, the utility poles.
Utility, yeah. That's where you usually
Yeah,
see them here
so
too.
yeah, but it's really, really nice to see one on a, as you say, on a natural perch. Good. And for those of you looking on YouTube, feel free to just, feel free to ask Francis any questions, put them in the chat. I'm looking at them, looking at whatever you're saying. So I got an eye there. Um, yeah, so here we go. This is a gray-throated chat.
Yes, the great throated chat, one of my favorite little birds. And this is actually one of my favorite pictures, even
Yeah.
though it's not perfect in some photography sense because there's a little twig just left of him, but
Oh, that's all right.
I think it's a nice shot. It gives us the full
The
profile of the bird.
personality as
Yep.
well. The personality. It's so like it looks like a warbler and a cardinal at the same time.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's I think it's still listed with warblers. I'm not sure if it was changed or elevated. It might have been.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, this is one of the cool birds, one of the birds that we have guests come here to try to see because it's a Yucatan endemic. So best looks would be Belize, Guatemala, or Mexico. And
Yeah.
this one was all the way north in northern Belize. I was with some friends from Sartineja, which is a fishing village way up north.
Yeah.
And they took me to the spot for this bird, and man, it just gave us a show. There was actually a pair, so this is the male.
Yeah.
There was actually a female, which was a bit different in coloration, not as bright, but still
Hmm.
beautiful in her own way.
Yeah, as they
And
all are.
yep, and this guy has a sweet song too. I don't have a good recording yet, but it's a very very neat bird, and it tends to show up north to south, so it's a cool one.
Nice. And it's endemic.
Yes, endemic.
Pretty cool. This one is also Yucatan endemic.
Yeah, this one is the Yucatan Virio. This is a bird during the breeding season. I don't have to leave my house to here because I live right along the coast.
Uh-huh.
They like the coast and the keys. So actually, this one I had just gotten a new camera, and I'm like, man, I gotta go and photograph something. And I wasn't anywhere exotic. I was just in Belize City, like 5 minutes from my house, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I know this little spot where I can get this bird. So I went and spent a little time with him, and he gave me some really, really amazing shots at him. And
Yeah. Well, this is incredible. It's like so so crisp and so clear.
it's a neat little bird too. And they have the typical Vireo song, but it's cool. I could be driving somewhere in Belize City with my windows down.
Yeah.
I pass a patch of mangrove and I hear this guy. giving it song. So it's a neat little bird. A lot of people probably don't even know, who aren't birders, that you might have this bird somewhere right in your backyard once you
Yeah.
live along the coast.
And it's so special. It's endemic to the area.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
endemic.
Do they sing all day like red-eye vireos?
Not as much, no. They
Hmm.
would sing probably earlier in the morning and later in the evening, but usually when it's very hot, you don't hear them that much, like the red eye or the yellow green.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Right. This here is one of my nemesis birds. This is the American Pygmy Kingfisher. And
Yeah,
this is a fabulous picture.
this one, oh man,
Yeah. This
I
is
was at work.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I was at work, cameraing back because same thing. This is just a few days before or a few days after that Yucatan Virio. After, because it's sequential, so it would be after the Yucatan Virio.
Mm-hmm.
And I was clocking out from work, and at my work where I was, they had a canal running right next to the property. So I saw this bird came on the perch, and I was like, wow, this might be a good shot. But
It just might.
yeah, it just might. Because what happened was there was a chain link fence between me and the bird, but I'm like, I know if I get close enough to the fence,
Yeah, you can blow it out.
yeah, I can blow it out. So I went right up to the fence, and man,
Oh, nice.
it was
This is
just I couldn't
crazy.
believe it. I couldn't believe it when I saw the pictures. I'm like, yeah, I didn't take that. Something's wrong. That's not me. That's not me.
Wow, yeah, and not many people would really appreciate how utterly tiny this bird is.
Yeah, it is. It's super small. Sometimes when you see it fly past your hair, you're like, oh, that's just a hummingbird. And then when you get a
Yeah,
good look, it's like, wow, American pygmy kingfisher.
yeah, and they have a very nice call too.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice, nice. This is another wonderful, wonderful bird, huh? This
Yeah,
is
this one, oh man, this bird almost killed me.
yeah, tell me.
Yeah, this one was not photographed in Belize. This one, we don't have this one here. Belize, we're too low. This was
Right.
in the highlands of Guatemala,
Uh,
in the Cuchumatanes, which is like the highest non-volcanic mountain range in Central America.
yeah.
So we were above 10,000, approaching 11,000 feet. And
Whoa.
I'm bad with the cold. So it was cold, like
Yeah.
2 or 3 degrees.
Whoa.
And um, the elevation made it very hard to breathe, being that I've lived at sea level all my life.
Yeah.
So me and Jason, I was on this trip with Jason,
Yeah.
and oh man, we were walking up and down trying to find this owl in the night. We were hearing it, not seeing it. At one point, I just decided I'm gonna sit down and wait because we're walking up and down, and I already feel like dead.
Like
So
you're out of breath and stuff like that, right?
yeah, out of breath and
Uh,
cold. I'm so bad with the cold, so it really got to me.
were you hungry, by the way? Because that'd have been the
Probably,
worst. God, I'm sorry.
probably. I think I had the universe was just against me that night.
But clearly
And
not all the way because you got this amazing picture.
yeah, this was actually the next day. So
Ooh.
that night we had met a local, and he told us, he's like, I have this bird in my yard. Like, what's up?
I don't know, why is there always someone like that? Why is there always like, you're looking for a bird, you're really beating the trail, and then you just meet someone and they'll be like, yeah, I see that all the time.
Yep. So we are like, okay, let's plan for tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So we picked up the guy, went to the spot, not even 2 minutes, and the bird showed up.
Whoa.
So
Whoa.
that
Yeah.
made it extra special because we tried so hard the previous day.
Yeah.
Then now today we came and boom, we had amazing shots. One of my
Yeah.
friends was videoing it, and I slipped down, hit his tripod. So we got all of that in the video. It was just
Yeah.
icing on the cake to actually get to, and it was two of them. So it
Oh,
really
really?
made the
Whoa.
part of the trip. And it's such of a small bird. It's like a pygmy owl, and
Yeah.
super
Because
restricted and local.
yeah, and it's poorly known too, I think.
Sorry?
I think it's poorly known as well.
Yeah,
Like
poorly known. Yeah, for sure.
nice, nice. That's so, and it's eye level too.
Yeah, this one was. I just had to tiptoe a little bit to get up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
boom! I couldn't believe
Wow.
that one either because I was researching the bird before, and it was like, yeah, this is a tough bird to get, and
Yeah.
we got it.
And
So
they did it. Did you all get the pink warbler as well?
yeah, we got pink-headed warbler.
Ah, that's an unreal bird, man.
It is. It is.
Yeah. Good. I remember when you posted this picture. This is an incredible, incredible bird. Was this the first time you saw a king vulture?
No, it wasn't the first time, but it was definitely the best time I saw a king vulture.
Well, yeah, clearly.
Um, yeah, I wasn't on a birding tour. I was just doing a general tour, some sightseeing,
Yeah.
and they had wanted to do a walk, so we went to a lookout in the Mountain Pine Ridge, which is another protected area. And
Mhm.
it was still earlier in the morning, like 9 o'clock, so the termals were just rising. So I think these birds were just coming from roost and getting ready
Yeah.
to hit the terminals to go up.
Nice.
And I just had my camera and I was like, guys, can I take a couple pictures? And they were like, sure, it's no problem.
Yeah.
And the bird was so low you could hear the wing beats, and it was just an
Whoa.
amazing experience. And to get the picture even made it twice as amazing.
Yeah, you know that my favorite part of this picture is the texture in the sky with the clouds and that kind of thing. It really makes it perfect.
That was a good day.
Yeah, well, phew. I'm still waiting to see one. I got a king vulture tattooed on my hand,
Oh,
but that's
nice.
that's to call it into existence.
Are they in
Um,
Tobago? Do you get them there in
no,
Tobago?
no. I thought that I saw one, a young one.
Hmm.
I was in traffic many years ago, and it was just so huge, but it was
Hmm.
all black, right? I know that the young ones are all dark, and there was like some bad weather in South
Hmm.
America, and but I was stuck in traffic, and I only saw the bird for like half a second,
Oh
but it was
man.
so huge. That's the closest I think that I have come, but
Hmm.
I'm always on the lookout. But
Yeah,
we'll see
one
what
day.
happens
I mean, you
one
can
day.
always come give me a visit, and
I'd love to. I'd love
yeah.
to. And you're just making me more and more tempted with these pictures. And I'm sure anyone who's watching as well. This is a white hawk, right?
Yeah, the White Hawk, and this was another amazing day because I was with guests. I had 12 birders, and we hadn't even started the trail yet. This was in the parking lot of the St. Herman's Blue Hole National Park,
Whoa, yeah.
and everybody just got amazing views. Like the bird was, I think there was a nest close by, so it
Yeah.
was probably going to or from,
Oh,
but it
okay.
started to kettle to catch the thermal right above us. So everybody got
Wow.
amazing looks,
Yeah.
amazing pictures. It was just we talked about this bird until the last day of the trip.
Have you ever like realized that when that happens, right? So like you're going to do a tour and you're just kind of assembling and getting the group together, and
Mhm.
there's some ridiculously amazing sighting. It doesn't really matter what happens on the
Yep.
walk or wherever you go. It's like, yeah, well,
Yep.
whatever, we got this incredible white hawk in the car park.
That is true. Yeah, like everything else is just a consultation price. This was
Yeah,
the main attraction. It's just amazing these birds. Like you just have to be at the right spot at the right time, and
that's how it
you
is. That
yeah
that's
you
how
can
it
get
is, man. Yeah, the luck of the
amazing.
draw, right?
For sure, for sure. I
Yeah.
haven't seen one that good since, but
Yeah.
have the I have the picture as a memory. So
Yeah, of course. And then that one time the stars all aligned.
oh yeah, for sure. Forever
Yeah,
grateful.
yeah, of course. We have these white hawks in Trinidad as well,
Hmm.
but they're not as white. They
They're
got a lot
darker on
more.
the wings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they a lot more black on the wings. So I think it's something to do with latitude.
Okay. Okay. I see.
Yeah, and but I'm not sure why. But it all shaped this one way. And speaking of shape, this amazing Jabiru,
Yeah. Same
I
tour.
the same toe.
Same tour. Yes.
Whoa, yeah. I'm just taking a moment to process that, like getting that view of the White Hawk and then going on to see this Jabiru. And this was like early in the morning.
Yeah, we did a sunrise boat tour. So this was like probably between 6 and 7 a.m.
Nice. Nice. Do they breed in Belize?
Yeah, we have a few nests. So they breed here.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, this was in 2020, um, the water levels in the Kukutri Wildlife Sanctuary were perfect. So
Yeah.
we did the boat tour with my guests, and everybody was just blown away. We probably had over 30 jabiroos, hundreds of wood storks, thousands of herons.
Whoa.
So like great egret, little blue heron, great blue
Yeah.
heron, tricolored green, the whole works. We just had amazing look. So this is actually from a boat. Um,
Yeah.
the captain came slow, and we
Mm-hmm.
drifted right by the bird. The bird never flew.
Yeah.
Everybody got amazing looks, amazing pictures.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was just another one of those days where couldn't complain about anything on the tour.
Yeah. Not really much like the night when you're looking for the unspotted sow at all, right?
Oh man, no,
A
not
little
like
bit
that.
not like that.
I would have fired myself.
Oh boy. I'm seeing Amy is saying on the chat here that she needs to do a birding trip with you. And
Sure, sure.
I must agree. I have to get that done.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Uh, yeah, for sure. I mean, and look at this. This is a roseate spoonbill, man. I mean, who doesn't love the charismatic megafauna, right?
Yep, a pink bird. Like you can't. It's hard to get nicer than that.
Exactly. Yeah, and a
I. Mhm.
spoonbill.
Yep. So the previous picture, that was my last tour before COVID.
Yeah.
So after that, everything went on lockdown. We went home and locked up. And I think this was my first day. Um, they had lifted some restrictions.
Hmm.
So I decided, because now you could travel without having like an essential purpose, like maybe going to the doctor, something like that. So I decided to just take a morning, and I went to one of my favorite places, um, a shrimp farm, Captain Hook Shrimp Farm. Amazing ceviche, amazing food,
Yeah.
amazing birds. So I went early, and I just walked around myself, and I came the something flushed the spoonbills, and he came right over me, and I got this just amazing picture again.
Yeah. Because I'm like, I was wondering how, when we came upon this picture, I'm like, don't tell me that this was the same trip as the Jabiru and the Whitehorn.
No, this wasn't. Yeah, this one wasn't. But
Yeah. Then it'll be totally fiction. That'll be like
yeah, yeah, it would have been a book.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I love these spoonbills. Do these also breed in Belize?
I believe they do in the northern
Mm-hmm.
part of the country. And
Yeah.
this is just
Okay.
a nice bird, a nice,
Yeah, like
amazing look.
do you get specific requests for this bird in terms of guiding and stuff like that?
Sometimes, yes,
Yeah.
they would want to see the spoonbill, and sometimes when you get them feeding and you get
Yeah.
that synchronized action, it's just
Yeah.
an amazing treat.
Incredible, incredible. Yeah, I'd definitely ask for this bird. I'd also ask for this one, which is a crane hawk.
Yeah,
I
this is the crane
like,
hawk.
yeah, I always find it such a strange looking raptor.
It is with those long
Yeah.
legs. This is another one of my favorite birds. One
Yeah.
time I almost missed it because I thought it was a cat. Somebody's cat was screaming.
Yeah.
But when I looked
What?
up, I'm like, wow, that's a young crane hawk. But
Yeah, oh really? And they sound
yeah,
like that? Like cats?
to me, it sounded like a cat. So I almost
Yeah.
didn't pay any mind until I saw the bird. I'm like, okay, that's not a cat. Because I was
Yeah.
already angry that somebody had their cat outside. So I'm like, man, that's crazy. And
And it turned
then,
out to be a crane hawk.
yep, turned out to be a crane hawk.
That is ridiculous.
So this bird here was actually harassing some Yucatan Jays.
Ah,
On I managed to line up and got a couple shots. And interestingly, with crane hawks, they're double jointed, so
yeah.
they can move their joints in different parts. So the cavity nesters, like the toucans and the parrots and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they really have a hard time when this bird come around, because they would just enter the nest, take out the chick, and be gone with
Yeah.
it.
And they just reach in, right, with their
Yeah,
feet because of that double jointed feature.
yeah, they just reach in, no problem for them. I mean, what's cooler than that?
Yeah, right. And to top it all off, those legs are a really nice shade of red orange.
Yep, yep. Just an
Yeah,
amazing bird, just to look at. Like, man,
yeah. I know, like it tends to be uncommon throughout its range. Is it like that in Belize as well?
it is uncommon. This bird was in Crooked Tree as well, and that's one of the places you have higher chances. They prefer any
Yeah,
type of forest near water or near wetland. So
yeah,
maybe 1 in 4 times we go to Cookie Tree, we could see this bird. But
yeah. I'll take that chance.
mhm.
How many species of birds you got in Belize?
We're almost at 600 according to eBird. We're like at 596.
Nice.
So we're getting there.
Yeah, yeah. Pushing that 600.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice. So this is a neat one. This is a Yucatan J. This is the one
Yep.
that Crane Hawk was harassing.
Yes, the same day. This is the bird that it was a flock of them.
Yeah,
And so yeah, I was on the same trail. Um, probably had like 20 Yucatan Jays because they travel in large numbers. So the crane hawk had flown away, and I was continuing walking, and then I realized that this jay was following me. Because jays, they're very smart.
yeah. They're
So
corvids, so they're
yep,
like always thinking.
yep. So I'm like, okay, something's up. But what happened is that there were young birds in the flock.
Yeah.
So like I believe this guy was the sentry because
Oh,
he followed me away from the
yeah,
flock
yeah.
and kept on calling. So like I was
Oh,
away from the flock and it was just me and this bird and he was just super interested by my presence. So I
yeah,
believe that he was just a sentry
yeah,
informing the others that hey, there's still a predator around. And well, I
yeah.
took the opportunity because he was close
Uh,
enough.
Of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? You know? Yeah, it's like it's so interesting about like their social structure and what really is going on.
Yep. And
You
this is
know?
another Yucatan endemic, and it's just amazing that ultramarine blue and the dark and the
Yeah,
yellow legs and it's just an
yeah,
interesting bird. Interesting. Their
very.
vocalizations are interesting.
Yeah,
When they're young, instead of black, the black is replaced with white.
yeah.
And when I was a younger or a child, my cousins used to always tell me about a white blackbird, and I'm like, a white blackbird?
Yeah.
Yeah, or a blue blackbird, and this is what we were referring to. So,
Oh,
in
interesting.
yeah, it's a
Interesting.
neat
Yeah.
bird. If you get like
And
an ant swarm, sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, you go ahead, the ant swarm.
Yeah, like if you get an ant swarm in the right habitat, you can get
Yeah.
a couple of these guys.
Ooh, interesting, interesting. I never knew that they'd but I guess they were pretty resourceful and they look to maximize whatever food opportunities that they have.
Yep.
And you were telling me before that, these birds when they're younger, that's like so like after that white turns into black, their bill and they got an eye ring that
Hmm.
remains yellow
Correct.
and they take a number of years to mature.
Yeah, I think it takes about 2 years for them to get this adult plumage between 2 and 3.
Yeah,
Um, because they shed the white quickly.
yeah,
Like that white, I think within probably their first 6 months, that might be shed, and then that's where they have the yellow with the yellow
yeah,
eye which sometimes actually looks a lot neater than the adult because you get that
yeah.
nice yellow on that yellow
The
eye and it.
contrast.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Because I was looking at some pictures and I'm like, but this is it like a subspecies or whatever? And then you
Hmm.
told me no, it's the age. And then I read a little bit more about it and I'm like, wow, this is wild, you know? And it's
Hmm.
like some of these species that have such a long period that they take to mature and
Hmm.
they're so socially complex. They tend to have these hierarchies within their flock and
Hmm.
I'm sure we've like not even touched the tip of of the iceberg yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool. This one here is a little bit less descriptive than the
Less,
Yucatan
yeah,
J. Yeah,
less
this is a
descriptive indeed.
northern beardless pteranulate.
Correct. Northern beardless. Such a small but feisty little bird.
Yeah,
Um, if you just try to whistle like them, they're gonna come in and see who's in their territory.
yeah.
Um,
We get the southern beardless pteranulate here, and they behave the same way.
mhm,
You know, like you imitate their call, and they're like, "Hey, who's that?"
yep. What's
You
going
know,
on?
what's going on? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I like this bird. Their attitude. It's just it makes up for their size because although they're small, excuse me,
yeah,
they won't back down from anything. And this one, I was just I had it was we were in the midst of COVID, so I decided to leave the city for a bit and go stay in Crooked Tree, which is in the middle of the wildlife sanctuary. So every morning I would just get up, go for a walk with my camera, and
yeah,
I had time so I could spend extra time trying to photograph these birds. And I'd always wanted to photograph this one good. And that day he
yeah,
just gave me the opportunity. So
yeah. This is an excellent picture. You know, the background is so nice and creamy.
was a good
Yeah,
one, yeah.
I didn't ask you before, but I'm sure some people are wondering what do you use to photograph these birds?
Okay, this was I had a 7D Mark II and a 400 millimeter L 5.6, which was
Mm-hmm.
fixed, and that was my combination that I took all of these photos except the royal flycatcher with.
Nice, wonderful. This is one of my favorite birds. This white morph, red-footed booby.
Oh yeah, oh man, the
Yeah,
booby
this,
bird,
and they're the smallest of that family, right?
smallest and most agile.
Nice, nice. Is a white morph the common one there?
Yeah, this is the white morph is more common. I think it's like above 60% white morphs. So
Interesting.
majority of the population is white, and then you get the brown, and then you get the brown and
The
with the
white
white
tail.
tail. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Here we get the inverse.
Hmm.
So it's like we get more brown
Hmm.
and brown with the white tail, and the white morph is like maybe 20%
Okay.
or maybe even less. So, but I'm always looking out for it.
Just an amazing bird, and this is actually the bird that this is on the logo for the Audubon Society,
Uh-huh.
and this was the bird that pretty much started the Audubon Society, and because they had protected where they nest. So this photo was taken. We only have one nesting colony.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 60 miles by boat from Belize City on the Lighthouse Reef Atoll on a island called Half Moon Key,
Right.
and that's where we have the nesting colony of these birds, and that was the first established protected area by the Audubon Society. And it was
Mm-hmm.
all because of the boobies. Like we had them nowhere else, so they saw the need to preserve this bird,
Yeah,
and now
for
everybody can
sure.
enjoy them. It's just
Yeah, so like the trips run to Half Moon Key pretty often.
birding trips. No,
Uh,
the Audubon Society they do a trip every year.
yeah.
Um, like you can go and go snorkeling, and well, you can always go birding. You just have to take your binoculars. But
Mm-hmm.
um, most people that go to the island would be people who were scuba diving.
Yeah.
So they would have a couple dives within the protected area, and then they would go to the island for like lunch. And then it's a
Yeah.
10-minute walk to the bird tower, and you can get eye level with these birds. They're never harassed, so they're pretty
Pretty
docile.
tame.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
pretty tame, no problem. We do have a couple trips to the outer keys, like in migration time, because um, it's so small,
Yeah.
and then we have the birds migrating, so you can get lucky and get a rare bird here or there.
Yeah.
Um,
What's
so it's
what's
always a
the
neat.
what's the rarest bird that you got there?
On this key,
Yeah.
that would be a black Paul Warbler.
Ah,
It
nice.
was a lifer, so it was the first time I saw one. It was this same.
Yeah.
I was actually doing some photography for the Audubon Society, and they were doing like their outreach with the fishermen who were doing like the harvesting of the lobster. So I took
Mm-hmm.
my free time and I was walking around, and I had a yellow warbler, which is odd because it's June. Everybody should be back breeding
Yeah.
up north.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, yellow warbler. And then I started to do some fishing to see if anything else would come in. A yellow bill cuckoo came in, which is odd too. And
Nice.
I'm like, what? What's going on here?
Yeah.
And then I saw this drab bird. I'm like, okay, what's this? And then I
Yeah.
saw the orange legs, and like my heart just like stopped
Oh
beating
boy.
for a few seconds. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, wait. This is a black pole warbler. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So I
yeah.
got a couple pictures, enough. I
Mhm.
got pictures of the back that showed the clear streaking and the orange legs. And
Yeah.
man, it was just
Yeah, no
awesome.
doubt, no doubt. But you get also bay-breasted, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I was making sure that it wasn't
Yeah,
a bare breasted in odd plumage, but those legs, that was it.
yeah.
There was no doubt.
Those two species are ridiculous. Like, I'm just about tired of those two. Because whenever they hear they're in their like drab plumage and then they're all the way up in the
Mhm,
canopy of a tree, and it's I really have to tell. And then sometimes the shadow falls on the leg, so you're not really
mhm.
sure if it's orange or if it's dark or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, you can take a couple black pearls and send them this way. I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll appreciate them a lot because we rarely get them.
Yeah, we get maybe like one or two each year, I think.
Mhm.
This here is a black-throated bobwhite, and it
Yeah.
looks like a bird that's usually hidden. Is
Yes, it
it?
is. It's usually hidden in tall grass, but we were driving around birding as we're always doing, and
Yeah.
um, this bird was just singing on a fence post. I'm guessing it was trying to find a mate.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if it's like a courtship scene going on.
Yeah, cause he was vocalizing and he was there for probably 5 minutes, cause it allowed us to reverse the car,
Wow.
and we got some shots. And I really like this one because you can see the effort he's putting into that song.
Yeah. Yeah,
You can see the
100.
thickening membrane, and
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I don't know if y'all can see it on the live stream, but the bird's nictitating membrane is just about covering its eyes. Really putting 200% into this song.
yep.
Really nice. Are they? I'm saying he, but are they sexually dimorphic?
Yeah, this is the male. The females would
Ah,
have like a yellow throat and lighter head. So this is the
nice.
male.
Interesting. Interesting. Um, cool. Here we got an Applemaw Falcon, right? Very long
Yeah,
tail. This,
Applemaw.
yeah, this bird looks like it's molting, is it?
It is, and that's what's cool about it. You can see the
Yeah,
tattered brown younger feathers compared to the,
fresh
yeah, the
adult
fresh gray.
feathers.
Yep.
Yeah. Whoa.
Just an amazing killing machine. I mean, when this guy's around, everybody's like silent,
Yeah, yeah,
hiding, because they know, like, yeah, this guy's built for speed.
yeah. 100%. They here we get them. They follow the shorebirds.
Oh man.
Yeah, so like once the shorebirds reach the Applemaws arrive maybe like a week or
Mhm.
two after,
Okay,
and
nice.
they terrorize those poor birds. What do they feed on in Belize?
Oh man, they would take. We don't really get them that often, like coastally. Well, we do, but I rarely see them. One time I did see them go at shorebirds, but they would
Mm-hmm.
do like the tyrant, so like the kiskadis, the social
Oh,
flycatchers, the virios, the warblers,
yeah.
buntings,
Doves and stuff like that too.
doves, yeah, and they they always show up at the fires as well,
Oh,
like right
really?
after, yeah, this
Yeah,
and the white-tailed hawk. Once there's a
yeah,
fire around, you just have to
yeah,
pay attention. and you might get this guy coming, trying to find somebody trying to escape, and
And pick it off. I see the
yep,
the caracaras. We get crested caracaras down
hmm
here that do that.
yep, they're very smart animals. I mean,
Yeah, much more than we give them credit for.
oh
We
yeah, for sure.
we like to say all kind of things like bird brain and
Bird
stuff.
brain, yeah.
Oh God, yeah, I hate that. But finally, science is just proving that they are quite intelligent.
hmm
I think this has to be one of the most beautiful birds on the planet, man.
It is. It is. I
Yeah,
mean,
violet saberwing.
yep.
Yeah, even the feet look purple.
Yeah, they do. They do. I mean, this is just an amazing bird. It's the
Yeah.
largest hummingbird we get, and I think it knows that it's the largest because it just bullies everybody. Like if you're at a feeder or at a heliconia,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah.
just bully everybody. So usually when like this guy was at a feeder, and when
Hmm.
he comes to feed, it goes silent. Everybody leaves.
Yeah.
He gets his steak, and then everybody comes back, and
Oh,
just an
yeah.
amazing bird.
That hummingbird hierarchy is a very unique thing, huh?
Yeah, for sure. they know they know who
Yeah.
runs the show.
Um, because like you get some smaller species that are extremely aggressive,
hmm
and they would try to bully some of the bigger species, and even within the bigger species, like do you all get white-necked Jacobins in Belize?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Right. So like here, the Jacobins try to bully everyone else.
hmm
So like they would chase the mangoes and whoever else. Um, but yeah, like in Tobago, we have a saberwing also, and
hmm
that one, just like this one here, it's the biggest.
hmm
And when he comes on, it's just like everyone, even the Jacobins and everybody, just they're like, sorry, sorry, we didn't do anything.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How many
Bosses
how
in tongue.
many how many hummingbird species do you got in Belize?
Oh man, I don't know the number right off my
Mm,
head. I think we're at like 12
yeah,
ish. We have
12-ish.
yeah, 12 ish. We have two saber wings. We have white neck Jacobin, green breasted mango, cinnamon, buff bellied, ruby throated during migration, um,
Yeah.
striped tail, long bill, and striped throated hermit. That's already 10. Coquette.
Oh, you
Um,
get coquettes as well?
yeah, we get the black crested coquette.
Ah, nice.
I think we're 12, 15. I think I'm missing a few. Yeah, because we get the crownwood nymph.
Ooh,
Yeah, we get some. It's not like the highlands, but we get some really good hummingbirds as well.
yeah, yeah. Man, the hummingbirds are incredible. It doesn't matter which ones. I
hmm
think all of them.
Oh
One of the
yeah,
hummingbirds that I really want to see is a giant hummingbird.
yeah. That's an amazing,
Yeah. Like it's
amazing bird
brown,
indeed.
it's not really extravagantly colored or anything, but I I don't know. I really want to see that bird.
Yeah, yeah, and they're like they can handle that lack of oxygen
Oxygen,
being
yeah.
so high. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and they range from sea level straight up to I think it's like 14,000 feet or something
Wow.
like that. I don't know, it's something ridiculous. Here we got a beautiful Plumbea sky. This is one of my favorite raptors.
Mine too. It's just. I mean, it speaks for itself. I don't even have to say anything if you.
Yeah, it resembles a Mississippi kite too. Y'all get those there as well?
Yeah, usually during fall migration, so like September, October, November, we get the
Ah, yeah,
Mississippi's passing through, but we rarely see a Mississippi perched. It's
yeah,
usually flying over.
yeah. Nice. I'm seeing someone saying in the chat that Benny's presentation mentioned around 23. That was Sea to Summit. That was a presentation we had on Learn the Birds, not
hmm
yesterday, but last week. So yeah, and since then I've been thinking about that giant hummingbird especially.
hmm
So that was just on hummingbirds, and that was an incredible presentation. But yeah, this I didn't know that Columbia's kites reach so far up north.
Oh yeah. This is in the mountain pine ridge, which is our only little plot of highland pine. And during this time of year, because that's where majority of the population we have here breeds, once you're driving into the protected area, you get tired of seeing plumbeous kites. Well, you don't get tired of them, but they're
Yeah,
just everywhere. Every
yeah,
3/4 of a mile or every mile, you get a pair nesting. You get 5 or 6 flying over. So like a lot of the population nests up there in the pine. And I was lucky enough. We were having lunch after coming back from some birding, and this guy was just hanging out, and I'm like, I didn't have my well, I had a camera, and I quickly, my friend, he lent me his lens, which is the same lens that I had,
yeah,
and I snapped it on, and I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until the bird, because it was facing away from us.
yeah,
I just sort of waited. I had to hurry up and eat lunch because I used my time photographing this guy. So I just waited until he um turned. I wanted
yeah.
him to turn the next way, but he never did. So I said,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
this is your show. You can turn whatever way you like. So I
yeah,
got this shot, and I was just super impressed about the bird. I
yeah.
mean, that red eye, you can see a little bit of the rufous on the
On the
primaries.
wing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a wonderful, wonderful bird. And not many people associate birds of prey and raptors, like big, relatively big raptors like this, with
Mhm.
insects. But they
Yeah.
eat a lot of insects.
Grasshoppers, that's what they like, and
Yeah,
dragonflies. I
yeah,
mean,
and cicadas.
yeah, thankfully, they need to eat more.
It's true. It's true. So I'm just going to stop the share here. We've reached, unfortunately, the end of this amazing carousel of pictures. Um, but we've looked at these pictures and we've also listened to some of your audio recordings. So I
Mhm.
must ask you, do you have a preference?
I photos, that would be photos for sure. I mean,
Sure.
I started photography the same time I started birding, so
Yeah. Nice, nice. Because I'm assuming that both of them must be immensely rewarding in their own way.
they are, yeah. Because sometimes, like with vocalization, it's a little tougher because a bird might give a vocalization you've never heard before, and
Yeah,
if you're not ready, then that
yeah,
might be it. But when you do get that, like the solitaire, I mean, I had seen the bird once, but I didn't get to hear it sing, and to actually hear it and then to record it, and now I can always go back and relive that moment by
yeah,
just playing the recording again. It's just super rewarding.
yeah, of course, of course. So I have another final question for you.
Sure.
Do you have a bucket list bird?
A bucket list bird.
Yeah, a bird that you really want to see,
A bird
but
that
you haven't seen yet.
a bird that I really want to see. Um, and I'm not sure if I'm ever gonna see it, but I really want to see a Sute albatross.
Ah, yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
think you shared a Sute albatross a few days ago.
No, that was a yellow-nosed albatross.
Yellow nose. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Sute
yeah,
is the one I really want to see.
yeah. But they also have, the Sooties also have this kind of yellow on them, like
Mhm.
this incredible facial pattern. Yeah, I want to
One
see. I
day.
want to do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we should organize and do a trip. We'll go down to Chile or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll do one of those pelagics. I would love to experience an albatross, like especially as I saw that one.
Mhm.
For those of y'all who don't know, it was a rehab in a situation like that in a rehab center, and the bird eventually passed away. So I really want to see an albatross and experience one in its element.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's a really good bucket list bird. So there are a couple of other things that I wanna, before we wrap up this episode, we're just
Sure.
going on an hour here. Could you tell us a little bit about your guiding business and how people seeking to go in birding in Belize can contact you?
Um, Well, I do my guiding mainly through different companies. So um, I don't have a guiding business for myself as yet, but I can offer guiding tours. The best way would be um, on Instagram. I'm easy to find.
Yeah,
Francis underscore Canto underscore birding. I have my email address there.
yeah,
And that's pretty much the easiest way to get in contact with me if you want to go birding in Belize. Or if you're in
nice.
Belize and you just want a birder to hang out with, that's fine too. I mean, I
Yeah,
know sometimes we're just passing through and you might have an hour or so to spare. I don't mind
yeah,
trying to find a cool bird. But yeah, I can do tours throughout the country. Um
yeah,
I've been fortunate enough through a lot of different people and organizations to have traveled all over the country. Um I've met and birded with people from north to south. So usually, like if you have a list, you send me your list, then I could arrange an itinerary around that.
yeah. That's how I like to do it for, you know, especially for people who already know what they want to see.
Hmm.
But it's always nice to just hang out and see
Yeah,
some birds and have a good time.
for sure. Yeah, it's just nice that you can hang out and talk about birds with somebody you've never met. You can just sit down for hours and talk about
Yeah,
birds.
yeah,
Um,
for sure, all the time. And then it's like, oh well, we should be looking for birds.
yeah,
So,
we
just
lost an
talking
hour.
about, yeah, exactly right. So I also know that you're an eBird reviewer and
Mhm,
a contributor to this incredibly vast online resource.
mhm.
Do you mind just quickly elaborating on what eBird is about, like what's accessible in terms of information? How can anyone contribute?
Well, eBird is just I'll put it simply, a centralized database whereby anyone can store their bird sightings, their audio, and their photography. And what it does, it builds because birds are everywhere. So by me birding in my front yard, or maybe you get a trip to go visit um, Australia and you're inputting
Yeah,
all the birds you can see there, all of that is valuable information because then we get to see on a broader picture um, how birds are distributed, what time of year you can find them there, and it
mm-hmm.
also from what I've seen, it helps to connect people as well.
Yeah,
I've had people email me and like, hey, I'm coming to Belize. Do you have any recommendations or where I should stay or where I should find this bird? Um, Sometimes you get business through that. You have somebody, hey, I see you've been birding here.
yeah,
Um, Maybe you can take me around for a few days. And with the data, it's accessible. For me, I'm a reviewer, so what my job is to make sure that the data is as precise as possible. So
mm-hmm.
where you depending on where you see the bird, um if it's out of range or out of season, I have to
Yeah,
be sure to vet that to make sure that it goes
of
to the
course.
database correctly. So
Yeah,
I would just recommend if you're into birding, you want to keep your life list set, just give eBird a try. I mean, um, you don't have to do it every day. It's all optional, all up to you, and it's fun because you get to see your list building.
yeah,
Um, you get to share it to the other people, and then you can, like for example, my yard. I keep a yard list, so now I know exactly how many birds I've seen on my yard. When can I expect them? So I would say if you haven't, I would give it a try. If you don't like it, then you can always quit. No harm there.
yeah. Definitely no harm in trying.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Well, huge thanks, Francis, for joining us. And for everyone watching live, and to everyone everywhere who appreciates birds. It doesn't matter what you're doing or where you are.
Hmm.
I'm seeing Alma in the chat is thanking you for sharing your wonderful presentation and
Thanks, Alma.
beautiful photography.
Thanks.
I think Alma is in Saudi Arabia. I'm not sure what the time is there right now, but
Hmm.
it might be tomorrow.
Might be Saturday.
Yeah, it's true. So yeah, so I hope to see you all in a month for the next episode of Bird is a Word. Remember to join us at learnthebirds.com so you would not miss a beat, because we have a lot of incredible events coming up. We got some webinars, some free webinars as usual. Next week, Thursday, on the 1st of July, we have Krista Rawls of the Birding Tools podcast, and she joins us with a skills-based presentation on bird identification. The Thursday after that is Dr. Derek Keats, who is the founder of Learn the Birds, and he's going to be talking about concepts in evolutionary biology with the Diederik cuckoo. And the Thursday after that, that's 15th July, we have some exciting news about a critically endangered raptor that's endemic to the island of Hispaniola, right here in the Caribbean. And that's the ridge-based hawk.
Awesome.
And it's being presented by Eladio Fernandez. He's an ILCP fellow, and he's actively involved in the conservation of this bird. So yeah, so much coming up. Alma says it's 5 a.m. I hope you have coffee.
Time to go
Thanks.
birding.
Yeah, it's time to go birding right now. Right. So I hope to see you all on Learn the Birds. So take care, everyone. Thanks for hanging out here. And thank you, Francis, of course.
Thank you too.
And yeah, and remember, everyone, bird is the word
Word.
all the time. So I think